In the hush of rain against old window panes, let us wander somewhere quiet, somewhere warm, where the scent of fresh bread drifts through autumn mist, and time drifts slowly, like a leaf on water. Beyond the sleepy edge of thought, there lies a place, a little brick bakery nestled beneath drifting rain clouds. Its wooden sign sways gently with the breeze, carved letters softened by years of wind and drizzle. Inside, warmth glows like an ember at dawn. Shelves cradle loaves, still steaming from the morning baked crusts, cracked in golden patterns. Glass jars hold sugared pecans, cinnamon sticks, and old recipes folded into slips of parchment, each carrying a memory. Lily, the baker, rises before dawn most mornings. She ties her hair back with a faded ribbon, slips on her flour-dusted apron, and listens deeply to the rhythm of the rain. That gentle patter feels like an old friend, a soft percussion on the rooftop, soothing her waking thoughts. As she prepares the dough, Lily hums under her breath, a tune without words, older than her memory, rising and falling with a whisk of eggs and the slow fold of butter. The melody drifts around the room, clinging to the drifting steam, mingling with the quiet sighs of dough rising in clay bowls. Outside, dawn remains hushed and gray. Droplets gather along the ivy leaves, trailing the bakery walls, each holding a tiny reflection of morning clouds. Something almost edible, like time slows in such moments, becoming something softer, honey on the tongue. The rain, ever patient, continues its tender drumbeat on the cobbled street. It seeps into the bricks and flower beds, into the moss, tucked around the garden stones, whispering its ancient lullaby. Inside, the scent of yeast and sweetness begins to warm the cool air. It curls around wooden beams, darkened by decades of stories, told in quiet voices over coffee cups. This is not a place of hurry. It is a shelter built from gentle habits, old recipes, and the comfort of repetition. Perhaps you can picture Lily now, her hands dusted with flour, her gaze soft as she watches the dough rest. She knows each recipe by feel, by scent, by the way the dough sighs when it's ready to shape. The world outside may rush, but in this quiet room, everything flows like a slow river of calm. If you close your eyes, maybe you can smell it too. The rich butter, the hint of cardamom, the earthy sweetness of brown sugar waiting to caramel. Imagine standing beside her, safe in the warm glow of the ovens, while the rain keeps time on the window glass. In this moment, there is nothing to do, nowhere to be. Just listen to the gentle rain, feel the warmth radiate from the ovens, and breathe. A slow, steady breath in and out. Let your shoulders sink a little deeper into softness, folding stories into each loaf, each pastry. Here, even your thoughts begin to slow, matching the quiet rhythm of dough rising. And as you drift, Lily continues to bake stories as gentle as this rain, meant only to soothe, to comfort, to guide you quietly toward sleep. Beyond the windows, the rain deepens, a steady, whispering song draped over the quiet town. Inside the bakery, soft lamplight flickers against stone walls, turning the air golden and kind. Each corner holds its own hush, baskets waiting to be filled, jars half full of lavender sugar, and an old clock whose hands seem in no rush at all. Lily wipes her hands on her apron and pauses to watch the raindrops slide down the glass. Their meandering paths remind her of rivers she knew as a child. Slow, patient streams that carried fallen leaves, far from sight. Watching them now, she feels that same gentle pull toward stillness, toward quiet reflection. She lights a single candle on the back counter. Its small flame dances softly, casting shadows that stretch and fade with each breath of air. The scent of beeswax and vanilla mingles with the buttery warmth of rising dough, making the morning feel even more comforting. In a deep wooden bowl, Lily folds dough, scented with orange zest and a touch of honey. The dough feels alive beneath her palms, warm, elastic, breathing its own quiet rhythm. As she kneads, She hums that old wordless tune again, as if the melody helps shape each loaf. Outside, the world remains wrapped in mist. The town square lies empty, except for puddles catching glimpses of gray sky and the occasional drifting leaf. Roofs glisten. Raindrops gather along eaves, falling one by one into shallow stone basins. A bell above the bakery door waits silently, its little chime ready to greet the first visitor. But for now, there are no footsteps on the cobbles, only the soft percussion of rain. Time, in this small moment, feels generous, willing to stretch and slow for anyone willing to notice. Lily glances around her bakery. Baskets lined with fresh linen, copper pans polished by many years of care. Everything here holds a story, told in flowery fingerprints and gentle scratches on the countertops. Even the faded recipe cards carry whispers of mornings long past. When Lily learned her craft from her grandmother's quiet patience, she remembers those dawns well. A child perched on a tall stool, eyes heavy with sleep, watching careful hands mix dough and measure spices. The kitchen back then smelled of nutmeg and warm milk, a scent that felt like home. And even now, in her own bakery, that memory lingers like a soft echo. Beyond the glass, the rain continues, neither hurried nor hesitant, simply falling, drop by drop, in an endless lullaby. Its rhythm seeps into everything. The slow rise of dough, the gentle beat of Lily's heart, and the soft breath of anyone listening now. Perhaps you to feel it, that quiet pull toward stillness, like drifting on a calm sea. The world grows softer at the edges. Thoughts stretch and blur, dissolving into the hush of falling rain. Take a deep breath. Let it fill you slowly. Then drift out again, leaving your body even heavier, more at ease. Feel your head sink deeper into your pillow, your limbs warm and relaxed, as if resting beside the gentle heat of the ovens. In this quiet bakery, surrounded by rain and memory, time itself seems to fade into softness. And Lily, with quiet hands and an old tune on her lips, keeps baking, shaping each loaf into something that soothes not only hunger, but restless hearts. All is calm, all is slow, and the rain, like a gentle lullaby, continues, guiding you ever deeper toward rest. The scent of warm bread drifts slowly through the little bakery, curling around wooden beams and soft drapes. It mingles with the steady hush of rain, creating a quiet symphony of comfort that wraps itself around every corner. Nothing moves quickly here. Even the rising dough seems to breathe in slow, gentle rhythm. Lily brushes a bit of flour from her sleeve and pauses, simply listening. The rain speaks in small, steady words against the glass. Words without language, meant only for hearts that remember how to listen. Beyond the window, rooftops glisten under the silver-gray sky, and flower boxes spill over with damp petals, nodding in time with every falling drop. In a copper pot, milk warms over a low flame, swirling with cinnamon sticks and orange peel. The sweet steam lifts into the quiet air, softening the edges of the morning. Nearby, a loaf of cardamom bread rests, its crust a pale gold, waiting patiently for someone to slice it open and share its warmth. A single chair sits by the window, its cushion slightly faded from years of early risers and late daydreamers. Lily likes to rest there for a moment each morning, cup of warm milk in hand, gaze wandering past rain-streaked glass. It is a moment meant not for doing, but for simply being. Breathing in, slow. Breathing out, softer still. The bakery's shelves, worn smooth by gentle hands, hold quiet treasures. Jars of preserved cherries, tins of cocoa powder, bundles of cinnamon tied with twine. Little notes are tucked between them. Reminders, recipes, words of kindness left by friends over many seasons. These small things hold the weight of memory, making the bakery feel alive, even when no voices echo within. Outside, the rain draws long, silver lines down the cobbled street, pooling in small, perfect circles. Before disappearing into stone, leaves float quietly in those pools, drifting without hurry. just as thoughts begin to drift in the mind of anyone resting now. Perhaps your thoughts, too, start to wander, slow and soft, like those leaves carried by rainwater. Inside, the warmth deepens. Lily lights another candle, its flame small but steady, a golden glow against the gray morning. Shadows dance gently on the walls, and in their slow movement, time seems to stretch, inviting every breath to deepen. If you listen closely, you might hear the softest sounds: the gentle crackle of crust cooling, the faint hiss of steam escaping from fresh bread, and beneath it all, the tender heartbeat of rain, each sound a thread in a tapestry woven only for those who choose stillness. Take a moment now to let your body sink heavier into your bed or chair. Let your eyelids grow slower, your breath softer, as if you, too, are becoming part of this quiet morning. There's no rush. The world outside will wait. Thoughts may come and go, like the passing breeze that stirs the ivy by the window. Allow them to drift by without holding them. Let them fade into the warmth, into the quiet, into the hush of rain. In this small bakery, in this gentle hour, nothing demands your attention. There is only the scent of sweet bread, the steady fall of rain, and the calm presence of someone who has always found peace in the simplest things. And so, slowly, the waking mind begins to soften. The world grows distant, edges blur, and what remains is warmth, softness, and a rain-soaked quiet that cradles you deeper into rest. The rain's rhythm continues, gentle, steady, almost like a lullaby, written for those who remember to pause. It taps softly on the bakery's tiled roof, tracing silver paths down the old brick walls, until each drop disappears into the waiting earth below. In the sound, there is something timeless, a reminder that life can be slow, tender, and deeply kind. Inside, Lily unwraps a small bundle of candied ginger, each piece catching the soft lamplight like amber. She chops it carefully, the knife moving without hurry, each motion thoughtful and measured. The sweet, spicy scent drifts up, mixing with the warmth of baked bread and the mellow hush of morning. A pot of tea steeps nearby, its steam rising in graceful, swirling ribbons that fade into the ceiling beams. Lily breathes in its fragrance, hints of chamomile and orange blossom, and feels a quiet comfort bloom in her chest. She pours a cup and lets it rest on the counter, the ceramic warm against her palms. For a moment, she stands perfectly still, eyes closed, simply listening to the rain. Each drop feels like a soft note played on an ancient instrument, a melody that needs no words. Outside, the cobbled street glistens in pale morning light. Ivy leaves tremble gently, brushed by passing breeze. Somewhere beyond the bakery walls, the town slowly wakes. Shutters creak open, a window latch clicks, a cat steps softly through puddles, tail flicking drops away. Yet here, in this warm room, time remains unhurried, wrapped in the scent of spice and the soft hum of rain. Wooden shelves hold memories as much as ingredients. A chipped measuring cup, a faded cookbook marked with flowery fingerprints, a jar of wild honey gifted by an old friend. Each tells a story, not spoken aloud, but kept quietly in the gentle repetition of daily ritual. In baking, Lily has always found peace, a rhythm that matches the slow, steady beat of her heart. She turns to knead the dough again, palms pressing gently, then folding, pressing, folding, a motion as old as bread itself. With each fold, she breathes in, and with each press, she breathes out, letting go of small worries, letting them dissolve into the warm air. Perhaps you, too, can feel that gentle rhythm, in and out. A slow, soothing cycle, matching the rain's quiet percussion. Let your breath become softer, your body heavier, your thoughts gentler, like dough rising under patient hands. The windows, fogged by warmth, blur the outside world into soft shapes and muted colors. It is as though the bakery exists outside of time, holding only warmth, quiet, and the endless comfort of familiar scents. If your mind drifts, let it. Thoughts may come like clouds across a quiet sky. Let them pass, fading into the hush of falling rain. You need not follow them. You need only rest here in this golden-lit room, where nothing is asked of you. And so, the morning deepens. The rain continues its gentle song, never loud, never hurried, each drop adding to the soft tapestry of sound. In this place, the heart finds space to slow, and the mind finds permission to wander into drowsy calm. Lily pauses, candle flickering at her side, and feels gratitude for rain, for warmth, for simple moments that soothe the soul. She does not rush to the next task. Instead, she allows herself this moment of stillness, breathing in the quiet grace of now. And in sharing her story, this small, gentle hour becomes yours too. A safe, warm corner of the world where you can rest, breathe, and drift, ever closer to sleep. The rain, steady and patient, becomes part of the bakery itself, a quiet companion that soaks into the mortar, rests upon the garden stones, and whispers against the glass. Its rhythm is neither loud nor sharp. Instead, it is like a mother's hum, soft and unending, meant to soothe restless thoughts. Inside, the gentle warmth deepens as the ovens glow. Loaves rise slowly, their golden crusts forming in the hush of morning. Steam curls upward, catching the lamplight in thin, ghostly ribbons that drift and vanish into the wooden beams above. Lily dusts the work table with flour, her motions unhurried and calm. A sprinkle here, a gentle pat there, each small act performed with care, as though she is kneading quietness itself into the dough. The scent of butter and yeast fills the air, wrapping around every breath, inviting anyone nearby to exhale and release the last tightness held in the chest. A small bell above the door waits silently for the first visitor. But Lily doesn't mind the waiting. She finds peace in these moments before voices and footsteps fill the space. In the stillness, she feels the soft presence of those who came before, generations who shaped bread by hand, whose quiet mornings were much like this one. The rain pools gently outside, gathering in small puddles that reflect the muted sky. Fallen leaves rest atop the water, drifting lazily from side to side, guided by nothing but a faint breeze. It is a slow dance, a gentle surrender to the moment. In the far corner of the bakery sits an old wooden chair, its paint worn smooth by countless mornings of quiet reflection. Sometimes, when the bread is rising and the rain is particularly soft, Lily sits there for a while. She listens, truly listens, to the hush of the world outside, the warm creak of the bakery's beams, and her own slow, steady breathing. Perhaps you, too, might pause here, in this imagined corner, feeling the calm settle around you. Notice the small details, the tiny bubbles forming along the edge of the dough, the way the steam drifts from the kettle, the faint ticking of a clock in the distance. Each sound and sight, softened by rain, becomes part of a larger lullaby, meant only to soothe. Take a slow, gentle breath in, and let it drift out again. With each breath, allow your shoulders to sink a little deeper, your mind to quiet a little more. Imagine the warmth of the ovens seeping into your bones, loosening what tension remains. Beyond the window, ivy leaves glisten under countless droplets. They sway gently in the breeze, moving in small, peaceful arcs. Their quiet dance mirrors the slow drift of your thoughts, rising and falling, but never clinging, never hurried. The air inside remains heavy with comfort, honey, cinnamon, and something older still, a sense of belonging woven into the wooden walls and the worn stone floor. Time, here, is generous, stretching out like the slow pour of warm syrup, inviting every breath to become softer, deeper, slower. And so, the morning continues. Rain outside, gentle warmth within. The first loaves are nearly ready, their crusts kissed by golden light. Yet Lily does not rush. She lets them rest, knowing that good things rise best in stillness. If your eyelids feel heavy, let them close. If thoughts drift in, let them drift out again, carried away like fallen leaves in rainwater. Here, nothing must be done. Here, it is enough simply to rest, to breathe, to drift deeper into quiet, calm. And so, with each slow breath, the warmth of the bakery and the soft patter of rain guide you ever further from wakefulness, ever closer to the gentle embrace of sleep. In the hush of the bakery, time feels like warm dough, stretching, resting, rising slowly under careful hands. The rain's gentle percussion on the windows becomes part of this rhythm, each drop marking another quiet moment in the unfolding morning. Steam curls lazily from the kettle, its pale threads drifting into the air, then fading as if they were never there at all. The room is filled with soft scents, brown butter, orange zest, a whisper of vanilla, carried by the warmth. They settle around every breath, asking nothing, offering only calm. Lily moves quietly between counter and oven, her steps cushioned by the worn wooden floor. The old boards creak softly, a familiar chorus that greets each morning with kindness. She lifts a tray of dough and sets it gently down, her movements unhurried, as though guided by the slow beating of her own heart. Outside, puddles grow wider, catching fallen petals and the myriad shapes of drifting clouds. The ivy along the bakery's walls holds tiny pearls of rain, trembling at each breath of wind. Birdsong, muted by the drizzle, becomes a faraway harmony woven into the rain's lullaby. For a while, Lily pauses beside the window. She rests her hand on the cool glass, feeling the gentle vibration of rain against her palm. In this moment, she thinks of nothing, only listens, only breathes, allowing the world outside to soften her own thoughts. Inside, the golden glow of lamplight deepens, casting slow-moving shadows that sway across the flour-dusted table. They stretch and bend, never hurried, never sharp, like thoughts drifting through a mind softened by drowsiness. Perhaps you, too, can feel the softness of this moment, the warmth of the ovens, the quiet shuffle of Lily's steps, the low, even breath that comes when nothing is asked of you. Let yourself breathe in that warmth, and out again, softer still. The kettle releases a final, gentle hiss, and Lily pours the tea, a quiet stream into a cup waiting patiently on the counter. The scent of chamomile and orange blossom fills the air, delicate and soothing. She wraps her palms around the cup, savoring its warmth before taking a slow sip. Beyond the window, the town remains wrapped in gentle mist. Shapes blur, rooftops, gardens, cobblestones, all softened by the rain's quiet embrace. It is as though the world itself has chosen to slow down, to hush its usual noise, leaving only the tender sound of falling water. Inside, the dough rises under linen cloth, swelling gently with warmth. Time becomes something softer, something that doesn't tick or rush, but stretches like silk across the morning. If your mind begins to wander, let it. Imagine yourself here, standing in the quiet bakery, the scent of warm bread filling the air, the rain tapping softly just beyond the glass. Let your breath match the rhythm of this place, slow, calm, and deeply gentle. In this small, golden-lit room, there is no hurry. There is only warmth, softness, and the quiet gift of being present in each breath. So breathe once more, slow and easy. Feel your body sink deeper into rest, as if you, too, are dough rising in gentle warmth. The rain continues, its patient lullaby, guiding your thoughts further from wakefulness, deeper into gentle dreams. And Lily, with steady hands and a quiet heart, keeps baking, shaping each loaf, not only with flour and water, but with a calm that lives in every slow morning. The rain outside softens to a lighter patter, as though even the clouds have chosen to rest a while. Drops gather on the ivy leaves, rolling gently into puddles below. Each tiny splash a quiet punctuation in the morning's lullaby. The bakery, wrapped in warmth and steam, becomes a small island of comfort in a sea of mist. Inside, Lily brushes melted butter across the tops of rising loaves. Her hands move in slow, familiar circles, each brushstroke gentle and deliberate. The rich scent deepens, sweet and earthy, drifting through the golden air like a promise of comfort yet to come. Steam clouds, the windows, blurring the world beyond into soft, muted shapes. Outlines of rooftops, the pale arch of a garden gate, the dark sweep of ivy against wet brick. Everything outside becomes a watercolor of quiet tones, rain-washed and serene. Lily turns to prepare the morning pastries, folding dough around candied ginger, sprinkling coarse sugar with careful fingers. The dough feels cool and pliant under her palms, giving slightly with each press, a quiet, living thing rising in the hush of dawn. Candles flicker gently on the counter, their flames steady and low. They cast slow-moving shadows on the flour-dusted walls, shapes that bend and sway in time with the quiet draft. Even these small movements feel unhurried, as though the whole bakery breathes in the same slow rhythm. Perhaps, in this moment, your own thoughts begin to slow as well. The rain's quiet song outside, the warm scent of baking within. Together, they soften the edges of the day. Let each breath drift in and drift out, like steam rising and fading into the morning air. In the back corner, a stack of recipe cards lies tied with twine, corners curled, and edges stained with years of use. Each card carries more than instructions. They hold memories of laughter, quiet mornings, and the soft companionship of those who have passed through this kitchen. Lily runs her fingertips over the worn cards, feeling their familiar texture, the slight ridges of handwritten notes. She pauses, closes her eyes, and breathes in deeply, letting the calm of this moment fill her completely. Beyond the bakery walls, the rain whispers its ageless tale, one of rivers and roots, of moss-covered stones and quiet streams. It tells this story not in words, but in rhythm, drop by drop, a melody as old as the earth itself. Inside, the warmth deepens, sinking into the wooden beams and stone floor. The soft hiss of the kettle, the faint crackle of crust cooling, the rustle of linen, each sound becomes part of the slow, soothing tapestry of the morning. Take a moment to let your own breath join this gentle rhythm. Feel the weight of your body supported, the warmth around you settling into every muscle. With each exhale, let a little more tension slip away, dissolving into the quiet. Here, there is no need to think of yesterday or tomorrow. Only this calm moment exists, warm, soft, and wrapped in the scent of fresh bread and the sound of falling rain. And as the dough rises and the rain continues its quiet song, Lily moves gently through her morning. Every motion, an offering of peace. Every breath, an invitation to rest. If your eyelids feel heavy, let them close. Let your thoughts drift, like leaves on rainwater, carried softly away. There is nothing you must do now, except listen, breathe, and sink deeper into calm. The rain outside keeps its patient rhythm, each droplet falling like a soft word spoken in a language older than memory. Mist clings gently to window panes, turning the view beyond into a watercolor of blurred rooftops, wet cobbles, and trembling ivy. Inside, the warmth of the bakery holds steady, wrapping every breath in gentle comfort. Lily lifts the first loaves from the oven, the crust golden and lightly crackled. She sets them carefully on a wooden rack, the slow creak of wicker joining the soft chorus of the morning. Steam curls up from each loaf, carrying scents of cardamom, honey, and brown butter, a quiet blessing drifting into the air. She pauses to watch the steam dance, tiny clouds rising and fading like thoughts drifting through a drowsy mind. In this stillness, even time itself seems to loosen its grip, stretching into something softer, something almost weightless. Beyond the glass, rain gathers along the curve of the gutter, before dropping, one by one, into the waiting earth below. Leaves tremble gently under each new drop, then still again, returning to their quiet vigil. It is a dance of surrender and stillness, a lesson whispered by rain to anyone who takes the time to listen. Inside, Lily brews a fresh pot of tea, chamomile and rose petals steeping in pale golden water. The scent drifts gently through the warm air, soft and calming, wrapping itself around the quiet movements of the morning. She pours a cup, then rests her hands around its warmth, eyes closing for a moment of gentle reflection. Perhaps you, too, can feel the softness of this moment, the steady hush of rain, the comforting weight of a warm cup, the faint sweetness of baking bread in the air. Let your breath match this calm rhythm. Slow in and soft are out. The bakery holds many quiet memories. Mornings like this, afternoons spent listening to rain, evenings lit only by candlelight. Each worn countertop, each dented pot and faded recipe card carries these stories, though none are told aloud. They live instead, in the comfort of routine, in the softness of repetition, in the calm of familiar hands shaping dough. Lily moves gently through these tasks, never rushed, never forcing the day to come faster than it wishes. She has learned to trust in the slow rise of bread, the patient steep of tea, the quiet work of rain on thirsty soil. Outside, the town remains wrapped in fog. The street lamps glow diffused into soft halos. No footsteps echo on the cobbles yet. The world, too, seems content to rest a little longer. Inside, the candle flames flicker gently, shadows drifting across flour-dusted walls. Even these shadows move slowly, as if lulled by the morning's calm. Let yourself drift with them, letting your thoughts become softer, slower, less distinct. Each breath carries you deeper into warmth. Each exhale releases what remains of weight. Here, in this small, quiet bakery, nothing must be done. The rain will fall whether you hurry or pause. The bread will rise whether you worry or rest. So choose, for now, to rest. And as the morning continues, its slow unfolding, Lily remains at her workbench, shaping dough into gentle rounds, folding sweetness into pastries, her every motion a soft invitation to stillness. If you find your eyelids heavy, let them close. Thoughts may come and go, but they need not stay. There is only rain, warmth, and the slow, gentle drift toward sleep. The rain, gentle and unbroken, keeps its slow conversation with the earth. A language of droplets, soft and old as stone. It traces silver rivulets along the glass, blurring the view until rooftops and garden gates dissolve into misty shapes. Inside the bakery, the hush deepens, a comforting quiet broken only by the faint rustle of linen and the low hum of a kettle. Lily dusts a tray with flour, the fine powder settling like morning mist. She shapes small rolls, each one turned carefully by hand, the dough warm and pliant beneath her fingertips. In these simple motions lies a quiet reverence, an understanding that stillness, too, is part of creation. Steam rises in soft curls from the fresh tea, mingling with the sweet scent of baked honey and spiced ginger. The air itself seems drowsy, heavy with warmth, wrapping around every breath like a comforting shawl. Candle flames burn low and steady, their small golden halos flickering gently against the stone walls. Outside, the rain gathers in shallow puddles, each one a perfect, trembling mirror of the gray sky. A single leaf drifts across the water's surface, its path unhurried, guided only by the faintest breeze. It is a quiet dance, a surrender, of moving without resistance, a lesson whispered in each falling drop. Inside, the dough rests under linen cloth, rising slowly in the warmth of the ovens. Time stretches here, soft and forgiving, without the sharp tick of clocks or the weight of urgent thoughts. Only the calm, patient breath of the bakery keeps pace with the morning. Perhaps you too can feel your own thoughts begin to slow, to blur at the edges like the misty view beyond the window. Let them drift, light and unhurried, like steam curling from a fresh cup of tea. Breathe in gently and let your breath slip out, softer and softer each time. The worn wooden table bears faint marks of 1,000 quiet mornings, flowery fingerprints, shallow knife scores, circles left by warm mugs. Each mark is a quiet testament to moments lived gently, without rush or noise. Here, even memory itself feels softened, bathed in the hush of rain and the slow glow of lamplight. Lily stands beside the window, palm resting lightly on the cool glass, feeling the faint vibration of each falling drop. She watches the world outside blur into softness. The quiet street, the swaying ivy, the puddles catching rain. For a moment, nothing more is needed than to simply watch and breathe. In the back corner, a recipe card lies open, words written in a careful, looping hand. They speak not only of measurements and ingredients, but of seasons past, of mornings, just like this one, of warmth shared with quiet hearts. Perhaps you can picture yourself here, too, standing beside the warm ovens, listening to the rain's patient song, the gentle creak of wood, the soft hiss of tea. Your own breath begins to follow this rhythm, slow and deep, letting wakeful thoughts slip gently away. There is no hurry here. The rain will fall, the bread will rise, and the morning will unfold at its own unhurried pace. All you must do now is rest, drifting ever deeper into calm. With every slow breath, your eyelids grow heavier, your limbs warmer, your mind softer, like dough resting in the quiet warmth. And Lily, with quiet hands and a patient heart, continues her work, shaping sweetness and comfort into every gentle loaf. So let your thoughts drift further still, carried by the rain's lullaby, sinking into the soft embrace of drowsy peace. The rain outside deepens into a steadier, softer cadence, a patient whisper, timeless and kind. Each droplet traces a path down weathered glass, catching pale morning light before merging quietly with the puddles below. Inside, the warmth of the bakery gathers gently around every breath, wrapping the air in sweet calm. Lily lifts the cloth from the resting dough, revealing soft, rising shapes, shaped by gentle hands and quiet care. She brushes each roll with melted butter, the sheen catching the glow of candlelight and turning each crust into something golden and tender. Every motion she makes carries the same steady softness as the falling rain. The windows fog lightly from the warmth within, blurring the outlines of ivy leaves and cobbled street into gentle shapes. Beyond them, rooftops glisten, and the mist hangs low, turning even the nearest garden gate into something distant and dreamy. In this softened world, thoughts to begin to drift, slow, loose, and unheard. A small bell above the door remains still, waiting quietly for the day's first visitor. But for now, there is only Lily, her quiet breathing, the warmth of ovens, and the old wooden floor that creaks softly with each gentle step. The hush feels complete, as though the morning itself wishes to remain in this tender pause. She moves to the kettle, pouring warm water over chamomile blossoms and orange peel. Steam rises, carrying the delicate scent of flowers and fruit through the air, a scent that feels like memory, soft and comforting. She rests her palms around the cup, feeling its warmth seep slowly into her skin. Perhaps you can feel it too, the calm weight of warmth in your hands, the soothing breath of steam against your face, the faint hum of quiet all around you. Let your own breath match this calm rhythm. Slow in, and slower still as you breathe out. With each exhale, feel your thoughts drift further from the waking world, softening into gentle mist. In a corner of the bakery, a row of recipe books leans gently against each other. Their spines are cracked and pages marked by flour-dusted fingerprints, small signs of mornings past, of quiet hours spent measuring, stirring, and waiting. These marks speak not of hurry, but of patience, of days shaped by gentle ritual and the slow rise of bread. Lily pauses, glancing at the garden through the window. Rain-soaked soil, dark and rich, flower pots, beaded with droplets, and ivy leaves trembling under each new drop. She knows the plants welcome the rain, just as her heart welcomes these calm, quiet hours before the day begins. Inside, the candle flames flicker gently, their soft glow reflected in the glass jars that line shelves. Honey, dried cherries, ginger, and sugared citrus peel. Each jar holds not only sweetness, but a small, silent story of time and care. Let your thoughts become as slow and soft as this moment. If they wander, let them wander gently, then drift away like steam fading into the warm air. Feel your eyelids grow heavier, your breath softer, your body sinking deeper into rest. Outside, the rain falls without hurry. Inside, the dough continues to rise, held in warmth and quiet trust. There is nothing here that rushes, nothing that presses, only patience, softness, and a slow gift of calm. And so, with each slow breath, the waking world drifts a little further away. All that remains is the rain's lullaby, the scent of warm bread, and the steady presence of a baker who has always trusted in the slow unfolding of morning. The rain outside continues its patient song, each drop adding to a soft, unending melody that feels older than words. Puddles deepen along the cobbled street, holding reflections of misty rooftops and blurred garden gates. And inside the warm walls of the bakery, the morning drifts onward in slow, gentle rhythm. Lily places the first rolls on a wooden tray lined with linen, the soft crust still glistening from melted butter. She moves quietly, each step measured, each motion unhurried, as though guided by the very hush of the rain. The scent of fresh bread curls lazily through the room, mingling with notes of chamomile tea and candied ginger. Beyond the window, the garden seems to breathe under the rain, dark soil drinking deeply, ivy leaves quivering, flower pots gathering tiny pools of water. The mist softens every edge, turning familiar shapes into gentle, dreamy outlines. It is a view made not for seeing clearly, but for simply watching, breathing, and letting thoughts fade into stillness. Inside, candle flames flicker gently, casting slow-moving shadows on the flour-dusted table and the old brick walls. These shadows sway and stretch with each small draught, their movements as calm and unhurried as the morning itself. Even the smallest sound, the creak of wood, the soft hiss of steam, the quiet breath of the ovens, seems wrapped in a layer of tenderness. Lily pauses beside the window, palms resting lightly on the cool glass. She watches droplets trace winding paths down, merging quietly with others, before falling into the waiting earth. It reminds her of thoughts drifting slowly through a sleepy mind, coming together, then slipping softly away. Perhaps your own thoughts begin to do the same now, growing softer, slower, as the warmth and quiet settle around you. Let your breath deepen, matching the calm rhythm of this place. Gentle inhale, and an even softer exhale. Feel the weight of your body sinking deeper into comfort, the edges of wakefulness blurring gently away. The bakery shelves, lined with jars of sugared peel and preserved cherries, glisten softly in the low light. Each jar holds not just sweetness, but memories of seasons past, of quiet mornings spent stirring, tasting, and waiting. In every recipe, in every worn spoon and folded cloth, lives the quiet patience of time well spent. Outside, the rain plays its gentle song, a lullaby for gardens, cobbles, and ivy leaves alike. Inside, warmth rises slowly from the ovens, wrapping every breath in golden calm. And Lily, with quiet heart and steady hands, continues her morning work, not rushed, but held in a rhythm as soft and certain as the rain. Let yourself drift with this rhythm now. If thoughts come, let them pass, like leaves floating on rainwater, never needing to be held. Feel your eyelids grow heavier, your breath softer, your mind quieter still. In this place, time has no sharp edges, no ticking clock urging it forward. There is only warmth, the scent of fresh bread, and the soft, unending music of fallen rain. And so, the waking world fades further away. All that remains is the gentle hush of morning, the steady presence of a baker at her craft, and the comforting promise of rest, deep and dreamless. Outside, the rain falls in smaller, steadier drops, like soft words whispered against the wind. Each drop finds its way down the glass, joining others in slow, wandering streams that catch and scatter the pale morning light. The garden, half hidden in mist, seems to breathe quietly under the weight of the rain. Inside, the bakery's warmth gathers gently around every breath. The air is rich with the comforting scent of fresh rolls, warm honey, and a trace of spice lingering from the morning's first batch of pastries. Each inhalation feels slower, deeper, as though the room itself invites calm. Lily moves between counter and oven, her steps muffled by worn wooden boards. She turns the dough gently, her hands familiar with every fold and press. A quiet language, learned through years of slow mornings like this. Her motions are unhurried, shaped by patience rather than time. Candle flames sway slightly with each small draft, casting soft shadows that dance along the walls and across the flour-dusted table. These shadows stretch and curl, never rushed, their slow rhythm echoing the rain's gentle fall outside. Beyond the glass, the cobbled street is empty, save for a single stray cat, stepping carefully between shallow puddles. Its reflection shimmers in rainwater before the ripples close over it, leaving only soft rings that fade into stillness. Even the cat seems to move more slowly, lulled by the quiet weight of the morning. Perhaps you, too, begin to feel the pull of this quiet world, a gentle invitation to let thoughts slow, to let the mind soften into drowsy calm. Take a slow breath in and an even slower breath out. With each exhale, feel your eyelids grow heavier, your limbs warmer, your thoughts lighter. On the shelves, glass jars hold their quiet treasures. Preserved lemon peel, sugared and dried cherries, dark as midnight. Each jar, touched by countless gentle hands, becomes part of the bakery's story. A story spoken not in words, but in warmth, scent, and silence. Lily pauses to sip from her cup of chamomile tea, the steam curling in thin, delicate spirals. She feels the warmth settle gently in her chest, a small, comforting weight that deepens her own quiet breath. She closes her eyes for a moment, listening to the rain's soft conversation with the earth outside. If your thoughts drift now, let them. They need not be gathered or shaped. They can wander freely, like steam rising into the quiet air. Here, there is no need to hold on to them, only to let them float away, softer with every breath. The morning light remains dim, filtered through mist and rain. Shapes outside blur and soften, as though the world itself has chosen rest over clarity. Inside, the golden glow of candles and the low hum of ovens become the only markers of passing time. And so, the moment deepens. Rain beyond the windows, warmth within, and the calm of a baker whose every motion honors patience. Let this calm settle over you. Let it fill the spaces where thoughts once stirred, until only quiet remains. There is nothing now that must be done, only the slow, steady fall of rain, the scent of sweetbread, and the soft drift toward sleep. The rain's soft lullaby continues, each drop landing like a small promise that the world can be slow, gentle, and kind. Outside, puddles gather light from a sky wrapped in mist, and ivy leaves bow under tiny beads of water, trembling slightly before becoming still again. Beyond the glass, rooftops and garden gates dissolve into shapes so soft they might be memories rather than places. Inside, the warm air of the bakery carries the scent of fresh rolls, melted butter, and a trace of chamomile from the steeping tea. It wraps gently around every breath, asking nothing, offering only quiet comfort. In this hush, even thoughts seem to drift more slowly, soft by warmth and rain. Lily moves, with familiar calm between the counter and the oven. She brushes a final coat of honey onto golden crusts, the slow sweep of her hand guided by a rhythm older than words. The honey glistens under the low lamplight, turning each loaf into something quietly beautiful, quietly complete. The candle flames sway gently, their glow reflected in jars of dried fruit and sugared peel that line the shelves. These small reflections flicker and fade with every breath of air, like thoughts drifting across the edge of sleep. Nothing here is rushed. Every motion, every breath belongs to the slow unfolding of morning. Beyond the window, the rain keeps its patient rhythm, drop by drop, like the quiet ticking of a clock that no longer measures hours, but moments of rest. The world outside blurs into gentle shapes, wet cobbles, misty rooftops, and the silent, silver threads of falling rain. Inside, the hush deepens. The ovens sigh softly, the kettle hums low, and the soft creak of old wood under careful steps becomes part of the morning song. This song asks nothing from you. It is enough simply to listen, to breathe, to let the waking world slip a little further away. Perhaps now you feel your own breath slowing, your body sinking deeper into comfort, your thoughts becoming softer, lighter. Let them drift like leaves on quiet water, floating gently, moving without effort, fading into the gentle embrace of calm. Lily pauses at the window, her palm resting lightly on the cool glass. She watches the droplets trace their wandering paths downward, joining others before disappearing into the earth. It is a quiet reminder that even the smallest motions have their place, their moment of rest. In a quiet corner, a stack of old recipe cards lies waiting, pages curled, and edges stained by time and use. They hold more than instructions. They hold memories of mornings just like this one, patient, warm, and soft. With rain, let yourself breathe in this calm. The scent of bread, the glow of candlelight, the hush of falling rain. With each exhale, feel the day slip further away until only warmth and gentle quiet remain. Outside, the rain carries on, as steady and soft as a whispered lullaby. Inside, the warmth of the bakery becomes a small island of rest, where time loosens its hold, and every breath feels deeper, softer. And so, as the morning drifts onward, your mind drifts too, away from waking thoughts, toward the soft pull of sleep. All that remains is the hush of rain, the warmth of golden crust, and the slow, comforting breath of quiet morning. The rain keeps its tender rhythm, each droplet adding to a quiet, endless song meant only to soothe. It falls across rooftops, pools along garden stones, and slips gently down ivy leaves, leaving behind tiny beads of silver. Outside, the world remains softened by mist, shapes fading and reappearing in a dance of fog and light. Inside, the bakery's warmth holds steady. Steam drifts lazily from a fresh pot of tea, swirling into the soft glow of lamplight before disappearing into the still air. The scent of honey, spiced dough, and chamomile hangs in every corner, comforting and familiar. Lily stands quietly at the work table, her hands dusted with flour. She shapes each roll gently, turning them under her palms in slow circles, as though coaxing calm itself into the dough. Her motions have no hurry, no sharpness, only soft repetition. Like breathing, the candles flicker gently, their small flames mirrored in the glass jars of sugared ginger and dried cherries along the shelves. Shadows stretch and curl across the flour-dusted table, moving with a rhythm as quiet as the rain beyond the window. Perhaps you feel your own breath matching this slow rhythm now. A gentle inhale and a softer, longer exhale. With each breath, the day's edges blur a little more. Thoughts become lighter, drifting without needing to be caught. Outside, droplets gather along the window's edge, merging slowly until they slip down the glass. In winding paths, the garden beyond holds still under the rain's hush, every leaf trembling, then resting again in quiet surrender. Lily pauses, leaning slightly against a work table. She watches steam rise from a fresh tray of rolls, the heat shimmering gently before fading into the warm air. In this simple act of watching, there is peace. A moment where nothing must be changed, only seen and breathed in. If your eyelids grow heavy, let them. If thoughts wander, let them drift further, like steam carried away by the morning air. There is nothing you must do now, nothing to remember or decide, only to rest. Beyond the glass, the street remains empty, cobbles darkened by rain and glistening in the pale morning light. Every sound, the quiet creak of wood, the soft hiss of the kettle, the sigh of rising dough, blends into a single, gentle lullaby. The recipe cards on the shelf bear faint notes and flowery fingerprints left by mornings long past. Each mark a small memory, not loud, but quietly kept within the walls. Part of the bakery's slow and patient story. Perhaps, in this gentle moment, your breath becomes part of that story too. Soft, steady, with each exhale, feel tension slip away, leaving only warmth, softness, and the slow drift toward dreams. And so, as the rain continues its calm descent, Lily moves through her morning in quiet devotion, not rushing the dough, not urging the day forward, but letting everything unfold in its own gentle time. All that remains now is warmth, the hush of rain, and a comforting drift into peaceful sleep. The rain outside never truly stops. It simply changes its tone, from gentle tapping to softer murmurs, each drop adding to a timeless, tender melody. Puddles ripple quietly with each new fall, holding blurred reflections of ivy leaves and distant rooftops, softened by mist. The morning sky remains pale and dreamy, its light diffused into gentle silver. Inside the bakery, warmth gathers patiently in every corner. Steam drifts from the open oven, rising in slow, delicate spirals, before dissolving into the calm air. The scent of fresh bread and chamomile lingers softly, wrapping each breath in comforting familiarity. Lily moves slowly across the worn wooden floor, the soft creak beneath her feet marking each gentle step. She lifts a tray of rolls, still warm from the oven, and places them carefully on the counter, their golden crusts glistening in the candlelight. Each motion is measured, deliberate, shaped by quiet care, rather than time. The candle flames burn low and steady, shadows shifting along the stone walls. In slow, graceful patterns, they stretch and bend, never hurried, echoing the unbroken calm of the morning rain. Perhaps now you feel your own thoughts softening, becoming as light as steam rising from a cup of tea. Let them drift, unburdened, like leaves floating gently on water. Breathe in deeply and release slowly, letting your body sink further into warmth and stillness. Outside, the garden is washed clean by the rain, soil dark and rich, flower pots lined with small shining beads. The ivy along the wall trembles softly under each new drop, before becoming still once more. Every motion in this quiet world holds its own gentle rhythm. Inside, the hush is deep and even broken only by small, familiar sounds. The quiet sigh of dough rising, the soft rustle of linen, the distant hum of the kettle. These sounds do not disturb. They soothe, reminding the heart that all is well, that rest is welcome here. Lily pauses at the window, her breath lightly fogging the glass. She watches droplets trace slow, winding paths downward, merging with others in quiet unity. For a moment, she thinks of nothing at all, letting her mind become as soft and unbound as the morning mist. If your eyelids feel heavy now, let them close. If thoughts linger, let them slip away, carried off by the quiet rain beyond the window. There is nothing to hold on to, only the comfort of this slow, gentle moment. The shelves lined with glass jars reflect the candlelight, each jar holding the sweetness of seasons past. Sugared peel, dried figs, and candied vines. They stand patiently, silent keepers of mornings just like this one. Let your own breath become part of this gentle story. Slow in, softer still on the way out. With each breath, feel wakefulness soften, thoughts blur, and your body sink deeper into peace. And as the rain keeps falling, steady and calm, Lily's quiet motions continue. Folding dough, brushing honey, lifting warm bread from the oven. In every act, there is only patience, kindness, and the soft promise that nothing must be rushed. The world outside remains wrapped in mist. Inside, only warmth and a soft drift toward dreams remain. The rain keeps its quiet promise, falling softly in the hush of morning, each drop a small, gentle note in an endless lullaby. Puddles deepen along the cobbled street, their surfaces broken only by new ripples that fade as quickly as they appear. The world outside the window remains blurred, wrapped in fog and softened light, as though time itself has chosen to slow. Inside the bakery, the warmth holds steady, deep and calm. Steam drifts lazily from a fresh pot of tea, curling into the dim air and fading before it ever reaches the ceiling. The scent of honey, warm bread, and chamomile settles gently, a comfort carried on every breath. Lily stands beside the wooden table, her hands lightly dusted with flour. She shapes the last batch of dough into even rounds, each fold unhurried, guided by the memory of countless mornings, just like this one. Her motions speak of patience, of quiet, trust, that warmth and time will finish what gentle hands begin. The candles burn low, their flames swaying slightly with each small breath of air. Their glow reflects softly off the glass jars lined neatly along the shelves, preserved cherries, sugared ginger, and golden honey catching and holding the light. These reflections move slowly, joining the rain's rhythm in a dance as old as dawn. Perhaps now, your own thoughts move just as slowly. Let them drift, softer and softer, like steam rising and fading in the warm air. With each breath, let your mind feel lighter, your body heavier, your eyelids growing warm and drowsy. Outside, ivy leaves tremble under the weight of rain before falling still again. The garden soil darkens, breathing in the steady drizzle, and flower pots hold tiny pools that shimmer in the soft light. Everything outside seems to listen to the same quiet music. Inside, the hush is deep and unbroken, held gently by familiar sounds. The slow creak of wood, the faint hum of the oven, the soft rustle of linen being folded. These sounds do not disturb, they soothe, reminding you that all is calm, that here, nothing must be hurried. Lily lifts her cup of tea, its warmth seeping gently into her palms. She stands quietly, breathing in the steam, watching the window fog and clear again with each gentle breath. In this moment, there is nothing to be done, nothing to change, only to be. If your eyelids flutter closed, let them stay. If your thoughts wander, let them slip away, carried by the slow song of rain. There is no need to follow them. They can drift, light and unhurried, beyond your reach. The recipe cards, curled and stained from mornings long past, lie patiently on the counter. They hold not only instructions, but the memory of laughter, shared, of dough kneaded by quiet hands, of stories softly told over rising steam. Perhaps you, too, feel your breath become part of this gentle rhythm. Slow in, softer still, as you exhale. With each breath, the edges of the waking world grow softer, and the pool of rest grows warmer. And so, as the morning unfolds at its own gentle pace, Lily continues her quiet work. Bread rises, tea steeps, rain falls, all without rush, all held together by the soft promise of calm. Outside, the rain keeps its steady fall. Inside, only warmth, quiet, and the slow drift toward dreams remain. The rain beyond the window continues, its gentle whisper, each drop tracing its own wandering path across misted glass. Puddles along the street shimmer softly, catching the faint light of morning and turning it into trembling silver mirrors. Fog drifts between rooftops and ivy-draped walls, wrapping the world in a soft, quiet veil. Inside, the bakery remains an island of warmth. Steam curls slowly from the kettle, blending with the rich scent of freshly baked bread and sweet chamomile tea. The air itself feels heavy with calm, as though it too has chosen to rest. Lily stands quietly at the wooden table, shaping small rolls with a gentle touch. Her hands move without hurry, guided by the quiet memory of many mornings before. Mornings marked by patience rather than time. Each fold of dough, each brush of melted honey becomes a soft ritual, repeated until it feels as natural as breathing. The candles burn low and steady, their flames reflected in glass jars filled with sugared fruit and preserved ginger. These flickering reflections shift and fade in slow motion, like thoughts drifting through a drowsy mind. Shadows stretch gently across flour-dusted wood, never sharp, always soft at the edges. Perhaps your breath has begun to follow this slow rhythm in and out, softer still each time. With every exhale, the world outside grows more distant. Your body feels heavier, your thoughts lighter, softer, less distinct. Beyond the window, ivy leaves glisten with tiny beads of rain, trembling before becoming still again. A small bird hops along the garden wall, its feathers damp, its movements gentle, almost dreamlike. Even nature seems to respect this hush, moving carefully within the quiet embrace of rain. Inside, the air is thick with warmth. The low hum of the oven, the soft sigh of rising dough, and the gentle rustle of linen join the rain in a shared lullaby. Nothing interrupts this peace. There is only calm, as deep and steady as a slow heartbeat. Lily pauses, lifting her teacup, feeling its gentle warmth seep into her palms. She watches the steam drift upward, twisting slowly into the air before fading away. For a moment, she allows her own thoughts to quiet, held softly by the rain's steady song. If your eyes feel heavy now, let them close. If thoughts come, let them pass, like leaves floating on quiet water, never needing to be chased, never needing to stay. There is no need to think, only to breathe and to rest. On the shelf, old recipe cards sit in gentle disarray, edges curled and ink softly faded. Each one holds memories of mornings just like this, quiet, warm. They speak not in words, but in sense, in warmth, in silence. Perhaps, with each slow breath, you to become part of this story. Inhale gently and release even softer, letting the waking world drift further from reach. And so, as the rain continues its patient fall, Lily moves quietly through her morning. Bread rises without hurry, tea steeps slowly, and time itself seems to stretch and soften. Outside, the rain wraps the world in calm. Inside, warmth and gentle routine guide the morning toward quiet completion. All that remains is the slow, comforting drift into peaceful sleep. The rain outside softens even further, falling in a fine, delicate mist that blurs the garden path and the Avita-wrapped walls beyond the window. Tiny droplets gather on leaves, each bead catching what little morning light seeps through the clouds, turning them into quiet jewels. Puddles spread lazily across the cobbled street, holding trembling reflections of rooftops and pale gray sky. Inside, the bakery holds its calm, steady warmth. The scent of freshly baked bread deepens, mingling with sweet traces of honey and the gentle floral note of chamomile tea. Every breath here feels softer, fuller, as though the very air carries kindness. Lily stands near the window, her hands resting lightly on the worn wooden sill. She watches as droplets trail slowly down the glass, merging with others before disappearing into the fog. In this quiet watching, there is a peace beyond words, a stillness that wraps around the heart like a shawl. Candle flames flicker gently in the dim light, casting slow, dancing shadows across the shelves lined with glass jars. Sugared peel, preserved cherries, and dried ginger glow softly within them. Each jar a small memory of seasons and mornings long past. Their reflections shimmer and bend across the flour-dusted counter, never sharp, always softened by the hush. Perhaps now your breath has grown slower, matching this gentle rhythm. Inhale and an even softer exhale. With every breath, thoughts fade a little more, becoming quiet shapes floating at the edge of dreams. Your body grows warmer, heavier, sinking deeper into the comfort of rest. Beyond the window, the world remains wrapped in mist, every edge softened, every sound muted by the rain's steady song. The ivy sways slightly under the weight of tiny droplets, then rests, still and calm. Nothing here is rushed. Everything moves in its own gentle time. Inside, familiar sounds weave into a quiet lullaby. The creak of old wood under careful steps, the slow hum of the oven, and the soft whisper of linen being folded. They ask nothing of you. They are simply there, reminding you that all is well, that stillness is welcome. Lily turns back to her work table, where the last tray of rolls rests under a linen cloth. She lifts the cloth carefully, the dough having risen patiently in the warm air, shaped by time and gentle care. Her hands move with quiet certainty, brushing each roll with a thin sheen of honey that glistens under the candlelight. If your eyelids flutter closed, let them stay. If thoughts try to return, let them slip away like steam rising and fading into the calm morning air. There is no need to hold them. They can drift where they will, beyond your reach. In a corner, recipe cards lie in a soft, time-worn stack, edges curled and pages dotted with flowery fingerprints. They hold memories of quiet mornings, shared smiles, and patient waiting. Stories told not in words, but in the scent of fresh bread and the warmth of a shared cup of tea. Perhaps, with each gentle breath, you to become part of this story. A quiet moment, unhurried and kind. Inhale and soften into the exhale, letting the world slip further into the background. And so, as rain continues its slow, steady fall, Lily moves through her morning with gentle devotion. Bread rises, tea cools, mist drifts across the garden, all at a pace that asks nothing more than to simply be. Outside, the rain wraps the world in softness. Inside, warmth and quiet kindness guide the morning toward. And for you, there is only rest, deeper and softer with every breath. The rain, soft as a whispered thought, keeps its gentle cadence beyond the window, each droplet falling like a slow, patient lullaby. Misty air blurs the lines between garden walls and sky, turning the world outside into soft shapes, gentle and under. Even the ivy leaves, weighed with tiny pearls of rain, seem to pause, resting in quiet acceptance of the morning's hush. Inside, the warmth of the bakery holds steady, as comforting as a familiar embrace. The air carries the tender scent of fresh bread, honey, and a hint of chamomile, each breath wrapping around the heart with soft reassurance. Time here feels less like something passing and more like something gently held, unhurried and kind. Lily stands beside the work table, hands lightly coated in flour, her movements slow and sure. She lifts the risen dough from its cloth, feeling its softness yield under her touch, shaped by warmth and quiet patience. Her motions are a quiet ritual, repeated morning after morning, shaped by trust in the slow unfolding of things. Candlelight flickers against the worn stone walls, shadows swaying gently with each draft. Their dance is soft, never hurried, a reminder that even light and shadow can move without urgency. The glass jars on the shelves catch this flickering glow, turning preserved fruit and sugared ginger into small, glinting treasures. Perhaps now, your breath slows to match this rhythm, gentle in, softer still as you exhale. With each breath, your thoughts feel lighter, drifting like mist beyond the edges of waking. Your body grows heavier, warmer, sinking further into rest. Beyond the window, the rain continues, each droplet merging quietly with puddles on the cobbled street. The garden holds its calm, soil darkened by rain, flower pots glistening in quiet reflection. Even the air seems to listen, holding still in gentle reverence. Inside, the hush deepens. Familiar sounds weave into a soft tapestry. The slow creak of floorboards under careful steps, the sigh of rising dough, the faint hiss of steam from the kettle. These sounds do not disturb. They soothe, asking nothing, offering only gentle company. Lily pauses, looking through the misted glass, watching droplets trace winding paths downward. Her breath fogs the window slightly, and for a moment, all she does is breathe, letting her thoughts grow quiet and small. In that pause, there is no need to decide or remember, only to be. If your eyelids have grown heavy, let them rest. If thoughts drift close, let them wander away again, like steam dissolving into warm air. There is nothing to hold, nothing to do, only the comfort of this slow, quiet moment. The recipe cards, worn and softly stained, lie patiently nearby. They hold not just instructions, but gentle memories. Early mornings, shared laughter, and the quiet patience of bread rising slowly in a warm room. With each slow breath, feel yourself becoming part of this gentle rhythm. In, and softer still out. Each exhale loosens the waking world, letting it slip further behind, leaving only warmth and quiet. And so, the rain keeps falling, steady and kind, and Lily's morning unfolds without hurry. Bread rises golden under candlelight, tea steams quietly, and the world drifts slowly into softer shapes. Outside, mist wraps the garden in calm. Inside, warmth and gentle care guide the morning toward. And for you, there is only the slow drift into deeper sleep. Breath by quiet breath, the rain's quiet melody continues, drop by drop, each one joining an endless lullaby that softens the world outside the window. Puddles gather on the cobbled street, their surfaces quivering gently under each new fall, then settling back into stillness. Mist drifts slowly between garden walls and rooftops, turning familiar shapes into soft, dreamy outlines. Inside, the warmth of the bakery remains steady and kind. The gentle scent of honey-glazed rolls, fresh bread, and chamomile tea floats in the air, wrapping around every breath like a comforting shawl. Time seems to slow in this quiet space, becoming less something to keep, more something to simply feel. Lily stands at the work table, shaping dough with careful hands. She folds and turns it slowly, each motion unhurried, learned over years of mornings that ask nothing but patience. Her fingers leave soft impressions in the dough, marks that speak of gentle care rather than rush. The candle flames flicker gently, sending slow-moving shadows across the flour-dusted walls. Their glow glances off glass jars of sugared peel and preserved cherries, turning them into small lanterns of soft color. Shadows stretch and bend without hurry, moving as quietly as thoughts that drift through a resting mind. Perhaps your breath has begun to follow this calm rhythm, a slow inhale and an even softer exhale. With each breath, thoughts loosen their hold, becoming lighter, drifting at the edge of waking. Your body feels heavier now, sinking deeper into warmth, each muscle softening further. Outside, ivy leaves glisten with beads of rain, each droplet trembling before falling into the damp soil below. The garden pots hold tiny pools, catching reflections of soft sky and moving leaves. Even the air outside seems slowed by the steady hush of rainfall. Inside, familiar sounds weave together into a gentle song. The low hum of the oven, rustle of linen, the slow creak of wood under quiet footsteps. They do not ask for attention. They simply exist, adding to the calm that wraps around everything. Lily pauses at the window, palms resting lightly on the cool glass. She watches the rain trace paths downward, her breath making a small cloud against the pane. For a moment, she thinks of nothing at all, only the rain, the warmth at her back, and the soft pull of quiet reflection. If your eyelids flutter closed, let them stay. If thoughts drift close, let them slip past like mist on morning air, never needing to be chased. There is nothing to remember, nothing to decide, only to breathe and to rest. On a nearby shelf, recipe cards lie patiently, their edges worn and corners curled. They hold not just lists of ingredients, but gentle echoes of mornings like this. Quiet work, warm air, the soft promise that time need not hurry. With each slow breath, let yourself become part of this softness. Inhale gently and exhale, even softer still. Feel the world beyond grow more distant until only warmth and hush remain. And so the rain keeps falling, steady and tender, as Lily's morning moves forward without urgency. Bread rises under linen cloths, tea cools slowly in porcelain cups, and the soft light of candles holds everything in gentle embrace. Outside, mist keeps the garden hushed. Inside, warmth and calm carry the morning quietly toward rest. And for you, there is only the slow drift into deeper sleep, thought by quiet thought, breath by gentle breath. The rain outside keeps its quiet song, drop after drop, falling softly against the window pane like the slow, steady ticking of a clock that no longer measures hours, but moments of peace. Puddles shimmer under the pale morning light, their surfaces trembling gently with each new ripple before falling still again. Beyond them, the garden drifts in mist, ivy leaves and stone paths soft into gentle, almost forgotten shapes. Inside, the bakery glows with its own quiet warmth. The soft scent of fresh rolls, warm honey, and chamomile tea fills the air, each breath becoming slower, deeper, more restful. Here, time feels unbound, measured not in minutes, but in the rise of dough and the slow drift of steam. Lily stands quietly by the wooden table, her hands lightly dusted with flour. She lifts a fresh roll, its crust golden and warm, and places it gently alongside others, each one part of a morning shaped by patience. Every motion is calm, every small act a quiet devotion to the gentle craft of baking. The candle flames sway in the faint drafts, shadows moving across stone walls in a slow, graceful dance. They touch glass jars filled with sugared fruit and preserved ginger. Their colors turn soft and golden by the candlelight. Even the shadows seem to respect the quiet, drifting without hurry from shelf to floor. Perhaps now your breath has slowed to match this rhythm, and softer still as you breathe out. With each breath, thoughts drift further away, becoming distant shapes you no longer need to hold. Your body feels warmer, heavier, gently sinking into comfort. Outside, the rain clings to ivy leaves, each droplet trembling before slipping into the damp soil. The garden pots hold small, shining pools that catch reflections of moving leaves and pale sky. Everything outside feels slowed by the mist, hushed by the steady rain. Inside, familiar sounds become a gentle lullaby. The low hum of the oven, the faint creak of floorboards, the quiet sigh of rising dough beneath linen cloth. They ask for nothing, offering instead a calm presence that soothes the restless edges of thought. Lily pauses, resting her hands lightly on the back of a wooden chair. She gazes through the misted glass, watching droplets trace slow paths downward, each merging softly with the next. For a while, she simply stands, breathing in the warmth, letting her thoughts soften like dough under gentle hands. If your eyelids feel heavy now, let them close. If thoughts come, let them drift past like steam rising and fading in the quiet air. There is nothing to do, nothing to keep, only to rest, breath by gentle breath. On a nearby shelf, recipe cards lie in quiet disarray, edges curled by time and dotted with flour. They hold more than instructions. They hold quiet mornings, the warmth of shared tea, and stories told in soft voices over rising bread. With each slow breath, you become part of this story too. Inhale, gently, and exhale, softer still. Let the waking world blur and fade, until all that remains is warmth and hush. And so, the rain keeps falling, tender and unbroken, as Lily's morning continues without rush. Bread rests beneath linen cloths, tea cools slowly in porcelain cups, and shadows dance gently on worn stone walls. Outside, the mist softens every edge. Inside, warmth and calm guide the morning quietly forward. And for you, there is only the slow drift into deeper sleep, each breath a step further into quiet dreams. The rain keeps its gentle rhythm, each droplet adding softly to the morning's quiet song. Outside the window, the garden fades into misty shapes. Ivy leaves, stone paths, and flower pots turn to soft outlines, as if half remembered in a dream. Puddles along the cobbled street hold reflections of rain-darkened walls and drifting clouds, trembling gently with each new drop before becoming still again. Inside, the bakery remains an island of calm warmth. The soft scent of honey, fresh bread, and chamomile tea lingers in the air, comforting, familiar, wrapping every breath in gentle reassurance. Time feels slow here, measured not by clocks, but by the rise of dough, the drift of steam, the quiet hum of the oven. Lily stands beside the wooden counter, her hands moving patiently as she sets a new tray of rolls to cool. Each motion is gentle, shaped by years of early mornings, by trust in slow, quiet care. She pauses to brush a thin layer of honey over the crusts, watching as it melts into golden sheen under the soft candlelight. Shadows dance across the stone walls, cast by flames that sway quietly with every small breath of air. They stretch and curl around glass jars of sugared peel and preserved cherries, turning each into a small, flickering lantern of color. Nothing here moves quickly. Even light and shadow follow the morning's calm pace. Perhaps now your breath mirrors this softness. A slow inhale and an even gentler exhale. With every breath, thoughts become lighter, drifting further from the edges of waking. Your body feels heavier, warmer, sinking deeper into rest. Beyond the window, raindrops slip down ivy leaves, trembling before falling silently into the dark, rain-fed soil. Flower pots brim with tiny, shining pools that catch shifting reflections of sky and leaf. Even the air outside seems to hold stillness, listening to the rain's steady song. Inside, small sounds blend into a quiet lullaby. The low hum of the oven, the faint creak of old wood under gentle steps, the soft whisper of linen being folded. These sounds ask nothing, offer only comfort, remind us that all is calm, that there is nothing to do but breathe and rest. Lily lifts her teacup, feeling its warmth seep into her palms. She pauses, gazing through mystic glass, watching droplets trace slow, wandering paths downward. For a while, she thinks of nothing, letting her thoughts settle into the same hush that fills the morning air. If your eyelids grow heavier, let them stay closed. If thoughts drift by, let them pass, like steam rising and fading in candlelight. There is no need to hold them. They can drift where they will, beyond reach, beyond waking. Nearby, a stack of old recipe cards rests quietly, edges softened by years of gentle use. They hold more than words. They hold memories of early mornings, warm laughter, and slow moments shared over tea. Perhaps with each gentle breath, you become part of this quiet story too. In, and softer still out. Let the world beyond fade a little further, until only warmth and hush remain. And so, the rain keeps falling, its tender song unbroken, while Lily's morning continues at its own slow pace. Bread rizzes under linen cloths, tea cools softly in porcelain cups, and candle flames sway gently in the dim light. Outside, mist keeps the garden wrapped in calm. Inside, warmth and patient care guide the morning forward. And for you, there is only the slow drift into deeper sleep, thought by quiet thought, breath by gentle breath. The rain continues, its soft, unbroken melody, drop after patient drop, falling against the glass, each one adding to the gentle rhythm that holds the morning still. Outside, the garden lies wrapped in mist, familiar shapes turn to soft outlines, ivy leaves, flower pots, and weathered stone walls all blending into a hushed, dreamy tapestry. Puddles gather quietly on the cobbled street, catching blurred reflections of drifting clouds and rain-darkened rooftops. Inside, warmth lingers like a kindly breath, The comforting scent of fresh bread, honey, and chamomile tea drifts lazily through the air, settling into corners, gently filling every space. Time feels slow here, almost forgotten, measured only by the quiet rising of dough and the soft drift of steam. Lily stands at the worn wooden counter, her hands lightly dusted with flour, as she lifts a fresh loaf, feeling its gentle warmth through the cloth. Each motion is calm, shaped by years of patient mornings when nothing ever needed to be hurried. She brushes the crust with honey, the golden sheen catching the flickering candlelight, turning bread into something almost sacred. Shadows sway gently across the stone walls, stretching and folding with the soft movements of flame. The glass jars along the shelves catch these slow reflections, preserving them alongside sugared peel and candied fruit. Even light here seems to breathe, its dance unhurried, shaped by the same quiet rhythm as the rain outside. Perhaps now your breath drifts into this gentle pace, slow in and soft air still out. With every breath, thoughts blur a little more, drifting past like morning mist beyond the window. Your body feels heavier, the softness of rest settling deeper into your limbs. Beyond the window, droplets gather on ivy leaves, merging silently and falling into damp soil below. The garden path holds small pools that ripple gently, each movement slow, quiet, almost forgotten the moment it begins. Even the breeze outside seems to pause, its whispers hushed by the steady song of rain. Inside, small sounds form a lullaby of their own. The low hum of the oven, the slow creak of old wood, the gentle rustle of linen folding over warm bread. They do not call for attention. They simply exist, holding the morning in calm, undisturbed embrace. Lily pauses, resting her hand lightly on the back of a chair. She gazes through the misted glass, her breath fogging the pain for a moment before fading. For now, there is nothing to do, nothing to decide, only to stand and breathe in the quiet warmth. If your eyelids have grown heavy, let them close fully. If thoughts come, let them drift past, unnoticed, like steam rising and disappearing into still air. There is no need to keep them, only to let them go. Nearby, recipe cards lie in a gentle scatter, their edges curled and words softly smudged by floury hands over the years. They hold more than recipes. They hold echoes of soft mornings, laughter shared over rising dough, the comfort of patient moments spent together. Perhaps, with each gentle breath, you become part of this story too. Inhale, and an even softer exhale. Let the waking world drift further away, leaving only warmth and the hush of rain. And so, the rain keeps falling, steady and calm, as Lily's morning moves gently forward. Bread rises under linen cloths, tea cools slowly in quiet cups, and candle flames flicker softly against stone walls. Outside, mist keeps the garden wrapped in peace. Inside, warmth and gentle care guide the day onward. And for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep. Breath by quiet breath, the rain's quiet song continues, each drop adding softly to the morning's patient rhythm. Beyond the window, the garden rests in a hush of mist and softened light. Ivy leaves heavy with water, flower pots turned into blurred shapes of gentle color, and the cobbled path glistening under pale sky. Puddles catch trembling reflections of clouds, shifting slowly with each new ripple before settling back into stillness. Inside, the warmth holds steady, like an embrace that asks nothing but presence. The air remains scented with honeyed crust, fresh bread, and the faint floral note of chamomile tea, each breath deepening the sense of calm, like sinking into soft blankets at dawn. Time here drifts, measured not by clocks, but by the slow rise of dough and the drift of candlelit shadows. Lily moves quietly around the work table, fingertips brushing flour from the worn wood, motions as gentle as the morning itself. She lifts a cooling loaf, feels its warmth seep through cloth, and places it among the others. Each crust a small golden promise, shaped by patience rather than speed. Her touch speaks of years of mornings spent in soft light, each one unhurried, each one welcomed. The candle flames bend softly with each faint breath of air, sending shadows across stone walls in slow, graceful curves. Glass jars along the shelves glow with quiet color. Sugared peel, dried violets, preserved cherries, turning each into a small lantern of memory. Even these quiet reflections move as though in a slow dance with the rain outside. Perhaps now your breath has found this same slow rhythm and even softer out. With every breath, thoughts soften, drifting out of focus like fog rolling across garden stones. Your body grows warmer, heavier, gently surrendering to rest. Beyond the window, raindrops slide across ivy leaves, merging and falling silently into the dark, softened soil. Small pools reflect branches overhead, shifting gently with each new drop, then falling still once again. Even the breeze outside feels hushed, its whisper soft by the steady fall of rain. Inside, familiar sounds form a quiet lullaby. The low hum of the oven, the quiet creak of worn wood, the faint sigh of linen folded over rising bread. They do not demand your attention. They exist only to soothe, each note of sound, part of a morning that holds no urgency. Lily pauses by the window, her breath misting the cool glass before fading away. She watches droplets trace slow, winding paths downward, each finding its own way, unhurried and soft. In this moment, there is nothing for her to do but breathe and be. If your eyelids grow heavy now, let them remain closed. If thoughts drift near, let them slip past unnoticed, like steam rising into warm, quiet air. There is no need to hold them. They can drift where they will, gently beyond reach. Near the window, a small stack of recipe cards lies waiting, their edges worn and words faded by countless mornings. Just like this, they hold more than instructions. They keep memories of shared laughter, soft conversation, and the gentle rhythm of hands working dough by candlelight. And release, perhaps, with each breath, you to become part of this story. Inhale gently, softer still. Let the waking world fade until only warmth and the quiet hush of rain remain. And so, the rain keeps falling, patient and kind, as Lily's morning unfolds. Without rush, bread rests beneath linen cloths. Tea cools slowly, and candle flames flicker softly against stone walls. Outside, mist keeps the garden wrapped in calm. Inside, warmth and quiet care guide the day onward. And for you, there is only the slow drift into deeper, softer sleep, thought by gentle thought, breath by gentle breath. The rain outside holds steady, each drop part of an ancient, gentle song that softens the morning into something timeless. Beyond the window, the garden remains, wrapped in mist, ivy leaves heavy with rain, flower pots half hidden in drifting fog, and the cobbled paths shining under a pale, quiet sky. Puddles tremble with new ripples and settle again, as if even the water remembers to be still. Inside, warmth lingers. Like a slow breath, the air carries the gentle perfume of fresh bread, sweet honey, and chamomile tea, each scent deepening the quiet, softening thoughts into calm shapes. Time here moves in small, patient circles. The rising of dough, the steaming of tea, the flicker of candle flames across stone walls. Lily stands near the work table, her hands lightly resting on the cloth-covered loaves. She pauses, listening to the quiet heartbeat of the bakery, the faint hum of the oven, the slow drip of rain beyond the window, and the whisper of steam curling into the air. In her stillness, there is no need to measure minutes, only to notice breath, warmth, and the hush that fills every corner. The candle flames bend gently, casting soft, swaying shadows across shelves lined with glass jars. Inside each jar, sugared fruit and preserved blossoms catch the light, their colors muted and warm, like old memories kept close. Even these quiet reflections move without hurry, part of the morning's tender rhythm. Perhaps now your breath has settled into this same slow pace. A gentle inhale and an even softer exhale. With every breath, thoughts loosen, drifting like morning mist that slips beyond the edge of waking. Your body grows heavier, warmer, sinking deeper into rest. Outside, raindrops trail across the glass, merging slowly before falling away into the dark, softened earth. Tiny pools in a garden hold reflections of sky and leaf, trembling gently, then calming once more. Even the breeze seems softened by the rain's steady hush, its whispers barely stirring the ivy. Inside, small sounds form a quiet lullaby. The slow creak of wood under careful steps, the faint rustle of linen, and the low, comforting hum of the oven. These sounds ask nothing from you. They only offer gentle company, reminders that here, all is calm. Lily lifts her teacup, the warmth soaking into her palms, and stands by the window. She watches the droplets trace their paths, each journey slow, each ending gentle. For a moment, she thinks of nothing at all. Only the quiet, the warmth, and the soft breath she shares with the morning. If your eyelids feel heavy now, let them stay closed. If thoughts drift near, let them pass, unnoticed, like steam rising and fading into warm air. There is nothing to keep, nothing to do, only to breathe and let yourself drift further into softness. Nearby, the recipe cards lie in their familiar scatter, pages curled, words softened by years of gentle mornings. They hold more than recipes. They carry the echo of laughter, the memory of hands shaping dough by candlelight, the kindness of shared silence. Perhaps, with each slow breath, you become part of this quiet story too. Inhale gently and release softer still. Let the waking world blur and fade until only warmth and the hush of rain remain. And so the rain keeps falling, steady and calm. As Lily's morning continues without need for hurry, bread rests under linen cloths, tea cools slowly, and candle flames sway gently in the dim light. Outside, mist softens every edge. Inside, warmth and patient care guide the day forward. And for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep. Each breath a step further into calm. The rain's gentle song continues, drop by drop, weaving its quiet melody into the morning air. Beyond the window, the garden remains hushed in soft mist. Ivy leaves glisten with rain, flower pots blur into gentle shapes, and the cobbled path holds shallow pools of trembling reflections. Clouds drift overhead, their pale outlines mirrored in the quiet puddles, before dissolving into ripples. Inside, the bakery stays, wrapped in warmth, as if holding its own small dawn. The scent of fresh bread and honey lingers sweetly in the air, mingled with the light floral note of chamomile tea. Each breath softer, slower, and more comforting than the last. Here, time has its own rhythm, patient, tender, measured in rising dough and drifting steam rather than ticking clocks. Lily pauses by the work table, fingertips brushing crumbs from the wood, her movements slow and gentle. She lifts a warm roll, turning it lightly in her hands, feeling its weight and the faint heat it still carries from the oven. Nothing is rushed. Every motion belongs to the quiet morning, shaped by care rather than haste. Candle flames flicker softly in their holders, shadows swaying across stone walls and old shelves. Glass jars of sugared peel, dried flowers, and preserved fruit glow gently in this light, their reflections softening into warmth rather than brightness. Even the shadows move in slow, graceful rhythms, never sharp, always tender. Perhaps now your breath matches this rhythm, a slow inhale and an even softer exhale. With each breath, thoughts drift away, growing lighter, until they are just gentle shapes beyond the edge of awareness. Your body feels heavier now, the quiet warmth settling deeper with every moment. Outside, raindrops merge on ivy leaves, before falling into the damp earth below. A patient journey that asks nothing but time. Small pools gather rain, their surfaces trembling briefly before finding stillness again. The garden breathes in the mist and rain. It's quiet, held in soft embrace. Inside, familiar sounds offer a lullaby of their own. The low hum of the oven, the slow creak of floorboards, the soft rustle of linen cloth folding over bread. They do not ask to be noticed. They simply exist, surrounding you in a hush that invites rest. Lily stands by the window, cradling her cup of tea, feeling the gentle heat seep into her hands. She watches droplets trace winding paths down the glass, each one finding its way unhurried, each disappearing softly at the end. In this moment, she asks nothing of herself, letting breath and warmth fill the quiet space. If your eyelids have grown heavy, let them remain closed. If thoughts wander near, let them pass unnoticed, like morning mist fading into the air. There is nothing to hold on to, only the gentle drift into calm. Nearby, a small stack of recipe cards rests in quiet disarray, edges curled, words soft by time and flowery fingertips. They carry more than instructions. They hold mornings like this one, shaped by gentle repetition, laughter, and the soft weight of silence. With each slow breath, you become part of the story too. Inhale gently and release, softer still. Let the waking world slip further away until only warmth and the quiet song of rain remain. And so the rain keeps falling, steady and kind. As Lily's morning moves forward without rush, bread rests under linen cloths. Tea cools slowly beside the window, and candle flames flicker softly, casting small moving lights across the walls. Outside, mist blurs the garden into soft shapes. Inside, warmth and gentle routine guide the day onward. And for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep, each breath carrying you further into rest. The rain outside keeps its gentle, steady rhythm, each drop falling with a soft certainty. It seems to slow the very morning itself. Beyond the window, the garden rests under mist and cloud. Ivy leaves heavy with rain, flower pots turned into blurred shapes of muted color, and shallow pools that catch fleeting reflections of drifting sky. Even the breeze feels soft by the hush of rain, barely stirring the leaves. Inside, the bakery holds its own small universe of warmth. The air remains sweet, with the quiet perfume of fresh bread, honey, glaze, and chamomile tea. Each breath deeper, slower, wrapping thought in soft comfort. Time drifts here, measured by the rise and fall of dough, the curl of steam above a cup, the gentle flicker of candlelight across stone walls. Lily moves quietly through the warm light, fingertips dusted with flour. She pauses at the counter, gently smoothing a fold in the linen covering a resting loaf. Every motion belongs to the morning's slow rhythm, shaped by care, never by haste. Candle flames dance softly, their light brushing against glass jars filled with sugared peel, dried violets, and candied ginger. Shadows stretch and bend across the shelves, never sharp, only gentle sways that seem to breathe along with the rain. In this space, even light moves in calm circles. And exhale. Perhaps now your breath has fallen into this same slow pattern. Inhale gently, even softer. With every breath, thoughts drift further from the edge of waking, like mist, dissolving beyond the window. Your body grows warmer, heavier, resting deeper with each quiet moment. Beyond the glass, raindrops merge on ivy leaves before falling into the softened soil. Droplet part of a patient's story written over centuries of rain. Puddles tremble briefly under each new ripple before calming into smooth mirrors once again. The garden, too, seems to rest, wrapped in the calm voice of the rain. Inside, the soft hum of the oven, the slow creak of old wood, and the faint rustle of linen folding over warm bread form a lullaby that needs no words. These sounds do not ask for attention. They simply offer gentle company in the hush. Lily pauses by the window, her palms lightly resting on the cool glass. She watches the rain trace winding paths, droplets slipping and merging without hurry, each disappearing quietly at the bottom of the pane. For now, there is nothing else she needs, only breath, warmth, and the morning's soft silence. If your eyelids have grown heavier, let them stay closed. If thoughts wander near, let them drift past without touching you, like steam fading into warm air. There is nothing to keep, nothing to do, only to rest, gently and deeply. Nearby, recipe cards lie softly scattered, edges worn by years of quiet mornings. They hold more than ingredients. They keep stories of early light, patient hands shaping and release, softer dough, and laughter shared softly across flour-dusted counters. With every breath, you to become part of this gentle story. Inhale still, let the world beyond slip further away, until only warmth and the quiet song of rain remain. And so, the rain keeps falling, slow and constant. As Lily's morning drifts forward, bread rests under linen cloths, tea cools beside the window, and candle flames sway gently, casting small moving lights that fade into corners. Outside, mist softens every shape. Inside, warmth and patient care guide the day along its quiet path. And for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep, each breath carrying you further from waking. The rain keeps its soft and steady song, each drop a gentle tap against the window, adding to the quiet rhythm of the morning. Beyond the glass, the garden rests under drifting mist, ivy leaves glistening, flower pots softened into rounded shapes, and puddles that catch dim reflections of a pale sky. Clouds above move slowly, their presence felt more than seen, adding to the day's hushed embrace. Inside, the bakery glows with a warmth that feels almost like memory itself. The gentle scent of fresh bread, golden honey, and chamomile tea weaves through the air, each breath drawn more deeply, more slowly, until thought itself begins to soften. Here, time drifts unbound, measured by the slow rising of dough, for curling steam from a cup, the flickering of candlelight across stone walls. Lily moves quietly from the counter to the window, fingertips brushing lightly over the linen cloths that keep bread warm. She pauses, hands resting softly on the wood, feeling the faint warmth beneath her palms. Every motion is calm, shaped by years of mornings that asked for patience rather than speed. The candle flames sway gently, their light touching glass jars along the shelves. Orange peel, preserved cherries, and dried violets glowing with muted color. Shadows stretch and fold with each flicker, moving slowly across the floor, never hurrying, always part of the morning's quiet dance. Perhaps now your breath follows this slow rhythm, a gentle inhale and an even softer exhale, like fog slipping beyond the garden wall. With each breath, thoughts drift a little further away. Your body grows heavier, the warmth settling deeper, until even the smallest muscles rest. Outside, raindrops merge on ivy leaves, gathering their weight before falling silently into the damp earth below. Puddles catch broken pieces of sky and shifting branches, their surfaces trembling only briefly before calming once more. Even the air itself seems hushed by the rain's steady voice. Inside, familiar sounds create a lullaby without words. The low hum of the oven, the slow holding the morning steady and kind, and stands by the misted glass, creak of old floorboards, the soft rustle of linen, folding gently over bread. These sounds do not call out. They only exist. Lily lifts her teacup, the warmth soaking into her palms. She watches droplets trace winding paths, each journey quiet, unhurried, disappearing softly at the pane's edge. For now, there is nothing more she needs, only to stand, breathe, and let her thoughts only breath, and the gentle drift into rest, dissolve into quiet. If your eyelids feel heavy, let them close fully. If thoughts drift near, let them pass, unnoticed, like steam rising and fading into still air. There is nothing to hold on to. And exhale, softer still. Nearby, the small stack of recipe cards rests, their corners curled by years of gentle use, until only warmth and the hush of rain remain. They hold more than measurements. They keep mornings just like this, shared silence, soft. Tea cools slowly beside the window, and candle flames laughter, and the patient rhythm of care. With each breath, you to become part of this story. Inhale gently, let the world beyond fall further away. Thought by thought, inside, warmth and gentle routine guide the day forward. And so, the rain keeps falling, steady and tender, as Lily's morning unfolds at its own quiet flower pace. Bread rests beneath linen claws, swayed gently in the calm air, and chamomile tea drifts gently through the air. Each outside, mist softens every edge, shaped only by rising dough, drifting steam, and candlelight. And for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep. Breath by gentle breath, the rain keeps falling, soft and patient, each drop part of the morning's quiet song. Beyond the window, the garden lies wrapped in mist, ivy leaves heavy with rain. Every movement belongs to the calm that fills the room. Pots soft into gentle shapes, and shallow pools that mirror drifting clouds before settling, sending long shadows across the worn wood and old stone. Into calm, preserved cherries. Dried, even the breeze moves slowly, its whispers barely stirring the damp air. An exhale, even inside, the bakery holds its own hush of warmth, the scent of fresh bread, sweet honey, like morning mist, slipping beyond the garden, breath deeper and slower, softening thought into drowsy calm. Here, time drifts unmeasured, that dances quietly across stone walls. Lily moves through this gentle space, her steps slow, each motion part of the morning's soft rhythm, holding reflections that shift and fade with each. She lifts a roll from its resting place, feeling its warmth through the cloth, and places it alongside others, golden crusts, catching the flicker of candle flame. Nothing hurries her hands. Candle flames sway softly, glass jars along the shelves glow with muted color, sugared peel, blossoms, small memories, kept safe in warm light. Even the shadows seem to breathe, drifting gently from shelf to floor. Perhaps now your breath moves in the same slow rhythm. Inhale softly, softer. With every breath, thoughts drift further away. Your body grows warmer, heavier, settling deeper into stillness. Outside, raindrops gather on ivy leaves before falling quietly into the soft earth below. Puddles ripple gently, then come once more. Breath of breeze. The garden rests in this hush, untouched by anything but the steady fall of rain. Inside, quiet sounds fill the space. The low hum of the oven, the slow creak of old wood under careful steps, the faint rustle of linen folded over warm bread. They do not call for attention. They exist only to soothe, forming a lullaby without words. Lily pauses by the window, her hands resting lightly on the cool glass. She watches droplets trace winding paths, each merging softly at the end, fading into the pane's edge. For now, she asks nothing of herself, only to breathe, to stand in the hush of rain and warmth. If your eyelids feel heavy, let them stay closed. If thoughts wander close, let them drift past unnoticed. Like steam rising and fading into calm air, there is nothing to hold on to, only breath and the gentle sinking into rest. Nearby, recipe cards lie softly scattered, edges curled by years of mornings like this. They hold more than words. They keep the memory of slow dawns, laughter shared softly over rising dough, and the warmth of stillness. With every breath, you to become part of this story. Inhale gently, and exhale, softer still. Let the world outside drift further away, until only warmth and the rain's quiet song remain. And so, The rain keeps falling, steady and kind. As Lily's morning moves forward in its own calm pace, bread rests beneath linen cloths. Tea cools slowly by the window, and candle flames flicker softly against old stone. Outside, mist keeps the garden blurred and soft. Inside, patient care and warmth guide the quiet hours onward, and for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep, each breath carrying you further from waking. The rain's gentle song continues, steady and soft, each drop adding to the hush that holds the morning still. Beyond the window, the garden drifts in mist, ivy leaves heavy and shining, flower pots turned into quiet shapes, and shallow puddles catching dim reflections of drifting sky. Even the breeze seems to pause, its whispers softened into near silence by the steady fall of rain. Inside, the bakery glows with its small, steadfast warmth. The scent of fresh bread, sweet honey, and chamomile tea drifts through the air, each breath drawn more deeply, slowly, until thought itself begins to dissolve. Here, time is measured not by ticking clocks, but by rising dough, curling steam, and the dance of candlelight across old stone walls. Lily moves quietly through this gentle space, her steps slow, her hands patient. She brushes crumbs from the counter, lifts a warm loaf with careful fingers, and places it beside the others, crusts golden in the flickering light. Each motion belongs to the soft rhythm of the morning, shaped by kindness rather than speed. Candle flames sway gently, their light touching glass jars filled with sugared peel and preserved fruit. Shadows stretch and fold across the walls and shelves, moving as though they too are breathing with the rain. Nothing here is hurried. Even light takes its time. Perhaps now your breath has found this slow pattern. Inhale gently and exhale, softer still. With each breath, thoughts slip further away, drifting out of focus like mist. Beyond the garden wall, your body grows heavier, the warmth sinking deeper into your chest, your shoulders, your hands. Outside, raindrops gather on ivy leaves, holding for a moment before falling into the dark, softened earth below. Puddles shiver gently under each new drop, then calm once more. Reflections shifting and settling back into quiet mirrors. The garden itself rests in this hush, wrapped in mist, and the rain's soft voice. Inside, the small sounds of the bakery form a lullaby of their own. The low hum of the oven, the slow creak of worn floorboards, and the faint rustle of linen cloth over bread. They ask nothing of you, only offering quiet company to drift beside you as you rest. Lily pauses by the window, a cup of tea warming her palms, and watches the rain trace winding paths down the glass. Each droplet finds its own way, unhurried, merging softly and disappearing at the bottom. For now, there is nothing for her to do but breathe and be present in the calm. If your eyelids grow heavy now, let them remain closed. If thoughts wander close, let them drift past unnoticed, like steam fading into the quiet air. There is nothing to keep, only warmth, breath, and the slow drift into sleep. Nearby, recipe cards lie, gently scattered, edges curled, and words softened by years of gentle use. They hold more than instructions. They keep stories of slow mornings, laughter shared over flower-dusted counters, and a gentle hush of early light. You to become part of this quiet story. Inhale softly and release, even with each breath, softer. Let the waking world fall further away, until only the warmth and the rain's tender song remain. And so, the rain keeps falling, patient and kind, as Lily's morning drifts forward at its own calm pace. Bread rests beneath linen cloths, tea cools beside the window, and candle flames sway gently, casting small pools of light across stone walls. Outside, mist softens every shape into gentle outlines. Inside, warmth and patient care carry the day onward, and for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep, each breath taking you further from waking. The rain keeps its gentle, steady voice, falling drop by patient drop, softening the morning into something almost timeless. Beyond the window, the garden rests under drifting mist, ivy leaves heavy with rain, flower pots turn to muted shapes, and puddles that gather small reflections of pale sky. Even the breeze outside moves, in softened whispers, barely stirring the damp air. Inside, the bakery glows with quiet warmth. The air carries a tender scent of fresh bread, honey glaze, and chamomile tea, breath drawn slower, deeper, until even thought itself feels wrapped in calm. Time drifts gently here, measured only by the slow rising of dough, the quiet curl of steam, and the soft sway of candlelight against old stone. Lily moves through this calm space, her steps slow and unhurried. She lifts a loaf from under its linen cover, feeling the warmth seep into her palms, and places it gently on the cooling rack. Every motion belongs to the gentle rhythm of the morning, shaped by patient care rather than haste. Candle flames bend and stretch in quiet arcs, sending long, soft shadows across the worn wood and shelves, lined with glass jars. Inside those jars, sugared peel and preserved cherries glow softly, muted by the flickering light. Even the shadows move slowly, as though breathing in time with the falling rain. Perhaps now, your breath follows this same gentle pace. Inhale softly and exhale, softer still. With every breath, thoughts drift further away, dissolving like mist beyond the window. Your body grows heavier, warmer, sinking deeper into quiet rest. Outside, raindrops trail slowly down ivy leaves, merging silently before falling into the softened soil below. Puddles ripple gently under each new drop, then settle again, holding broken pieces of sky and branch until the next ripple comes. The garden itself rests in quiet acceptance of the rain's steady song. Inside, the soft sounds of the bakery form a lullaby, without words. The low hum of the oven, the slow creak of worn floorboards, the faint rustle of linen folding gently over bread. These sounds do not call for attention. They only exist, like a gentle hand resting near, reminding you all is calm. Lily pauses by the window, her hands wrapped around a cup of tea, feeling the warmth spread slowly into her palms. She watches as droplets trace slow, winding paths down the glass, each one finding its way unhurried to the pane's edge. For now, she asks nothing of the day, only to stand, breathe, and rest in a hush of rain. If your eyelids feel heavy, let them stay closed. If thoughts wander near, let them drift past, unnoticed, like steam rising into the still air. There is nothing to hold on to, only breath and the gentle sinking into quiet. Nearby, a scatter of recipe cards rests on the counter, edges curled by years of gentle use. They hold more than words. They keep memories of early light, shared laughter, and soft silences that speak of belonging. With each breath, you to become part of this story. Inhale gently and release even softer. Let the world beyond fade until only warmth and the rain's patient song remain. And so the rain keeps falling, slow and kind, as Lily's morning drifts forward in its own quiet way. Bread rests beneath linen cloths, tea cools gently beside the window, and candle flames sway softly, leaving pools of light across stone walls. Outside, mist softens every edge. Inside, warmth and quiet care guide the morning onward. And for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep, each breath taking you further into gentle rest. The rain outside keeps its quiet, steady rhythm, each drop part of a soft and endless song that smooths the edges of morning thought. Beyond the window, the garden lies hushed under mist, ivy leaves glistening, flower pots softened into gentle shapes, and small puddles that tremble briefly before falling still again. Even the breeze outside feels wrapped in calm, moving so lightly it barely stirs the damp air. Inside, The bakery holds its small world of warmth. The air carries the tender sweetness of fresh bread, honey glaze, and chamomile tea. Each breath drawn slowly, deeply, until thoughts blur into the soft glow of waking dreams. Time here drifts, gently marked by the rise of dough, the slow curl of steam above cups, and the candlelight's patient dance across stone walls. Lily moves quietly from the counter to the window, her steps slow, each motion shaped by years of gentle routine. She lifts a warm roll, feels the faint heat beneath her palms, and places it, among others, crusts, golden and soft in the morning light. Nothing is rushed. The day unfolds at the pace of kindness. Candle flames bend and stretch with the smallest breath of air, their light brushing against shelves lined with glass jars. Sugared peel, preserved cherries, and dried blossoms catch the flicker, their colors muted into soft memory. Even the shadows move gently, never sharply, as though breathing alongside the falling rain. Perhaps now your breath has found this slow rhythm too. Inhale softly, and exhale, even softer. With every breath, thoughts grow lighter, drifting beyond reach like mist slipping past garden stones. Your body feels heavier, warmer, settling deeper into the quiet comfort of rest. Outside, raindrops slide down ivy leaves, merging quietly before falling into the dark, softened earth below. Small pools ripple once, then calm again, reflecting fragments of sky and branch. The garden itself rests, its quiet held in the steady voice of rain. Inside, the soft sounds of the bakery shape a lullaby without words. The faint hum of the oven, the slow creak of worn wood, the gentle rustle of linen folding over bread. They ask nothing of you, only offering calm company as you drift further into stillness. Lily pauses at the window, teacup warming her hands, watching droplets trace slow paths down the glass. Each one finds its way unhurried, disappearing softly at the pane's edge. For now, she asks, nothing more of the day, only to breathe and be part of the morning's hush. If your eyelids feel heavy, let them stay closed. If thoughts drift near, let them pass quietly, like steam rising and fading into warm air. There is nothing to hold on to, only breath, warmth, and the slow sinking into rest. Nearby, the recipe cards lie gently scattered, edges curled and words softened by years of mornings like this. They hold more than ingredients. They keep laughter, shared silence, and a simple piece of early hours spent together. With every breath, you to become part of this story. Inhale gently and release, softer still. Let the world beyond slip further away, until only warmth and the rain's quiet song remain. And so, the rain keeps falling, patient and kind. As Lily's morning drifts forward, bread rests beneath linen cloths, tea cools slowly beside the window, and candle flames sway softly, sending small ripples of light across old stone. Outside, mist softens every edge. Inside, warmth and gentle care guide the hours forward. And for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep, each breath carrying you further from waking. The rain keeps its patient, steady voice, each drop part of the gentle weave of morning calm. Beyond the window, the garden lies hushed under drifting mist, ivy leaves shining with gathered rain, flower pots soft into blurred shapes, and puddles that hold fleeting glimpses of pale sky. The breeze outside stirs so lightly that even the smallest leaf barely sways, wrapped in the quiet spell of the rain. Inside, the bakery glows with a slow, comforting warmth. The air holds the soft sweetness of fresh bread, golden honey, and chamomile tea. Each breath deeper, slower, drawing thought further into calm. Time drifts unmeasured here, shaped instead by the slow rising of dough, the steam curling above cups, and the candlelight that sways gently across old stone. Lily moves softly from the counter to the window, her steps unhurried, shaped by years of gentle mornings. She lifts a warm loaf, feels its weight and quiet heat, and places it beside others. Crusts golden in the tender light. Every movement belongs to the calm rhythm of the day, never pulled by haste, always guided by care. Candle flames bend with the faintest breath of air, their light touching glass jars lined along the shelves. Inside those jars, sugared peel, dried blossoms, and preserved fruit glow gently, colors muted into the memory of seasons past. Even the shadows that stretch across the floor move slowly, as though breathing with the rain itself. Perhaps now your breath matches this gentle rhythm. Inhale softly, and exhale softer still. With each breath, thoughts slip further away, like morning mist drifting beyond the garden wall. Your body feels heavier, warmer, sinking into the quiet that grows deeper with each moment. Outside, raindrops merge on ivy leaves before falling softly into the damp earth below. Shallow pools gather ripples, trembling once before, calming into smooth reflections once again. The garden rests, its edges softened by rain and fog, untouched by hurry. Inside, the soft sounds of the bakery become a lullaby. Without words, the low hum of the oven, the gentle creak of wood, the faint rustle of linen folding over warm bread, they do not ask to be heard. They simply offer company, quiet reminders that all is calm. Lily pauses by the window, a teacup warming her hands, and watches the droplets trace their slow, wandering paths. Each one finds its way to the bottom edge, disappearing softly, leaving the glass blurred. For now, she asks nothing of herself, letting breath and warmth be enough. If your eyelids feel heavy now, let them stay closed. If thoughts drift near, let them slip past unnoticed, like steam rising and fading into warm air. There is nothing to keep, only breath and the gentle sinking into rest. Nearby, recipe cards lie softly scattered, edges curled by years of mornings like this. They hold more than instructions. They keep laughter, shared silence, and the slow unfolding of quiet hours. With every breath, you to become part of this tender story. Inhale gently, and release, softer still. Let the waking world drift further away, until only warmth and the rain's patient song remain. And so, the rain keeps falling, slow and gentle. As Lily's morning drifts onward, bread rests beneath linen cloths, tea cools beside the window, and candle flames sway softly, casting, moving light across stone and wood. Outside, mist softens every shape. Inside, warmth and gentle care guide the day along its quiet course. And for you, there is only the slow, comforting drift into deeper sleep, each breath carrying you further from waking. And so, dear listener, as the rain keeps its quiet, steady rhythm, as candle flames sway softly, and bread rests under linen cloths, let your breath stay slow and kind. A gentle inhale, and an even softer exhale. Beyond the misted window, the garden drifts in and out of view, each leaf touched by the patient rain. Inside, warmth and silence remain, unbroken and welcoming. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to hold, only to let yourself drift further, thought by gentle thought, breath by soft breath. Let the warmth stay with you as you slip deeper into sleep. Let the quiet of the rainy day bakery become your resting place tonight. And if any thought should wander near, let it pass like a cloud dissolving into sky. The morning can wait. The world can wait. For now, there is only calm, only warmth, only the steady, endless song of rain. Sleep well, dear friend, and may your dreams be as soft and gentle as this rain-soaked morning. Stillness. Thank you for resting here, for sharing this gentle morning. Let your breath stay slow, your thoughts soft, your body heavy. The rain will keep its quiet watch. The warmth will stay beside you, and sleep will find you gently. Good night. Stillness. Sleep well.